Hey everyone, Creepy here. So today we're going to be covering a video by a YouTuber known as A.S.K. Anyway, let's jump into it.
So the other day I had an epiphany. I was scrolling mindlessly through my phone as one does, and I came across this monstrosity, the Fairly OddParents reboot, and it was just as bad as I expected it to be.
I know I shouldn't be pausing the video this early on, but the new Fairly OddParents show is not a reboot, it's a sequel series. These are two different things. Throughout this video, A.S.K gets these two ideas mixed up. A reboot is in a separate continuity, while a sequel series is in the same exact continuity. It's like a sequel movie. It's just a sequel to the former series.
It was originally the Fairly OddParents Trash reboot number 1 that inspired me to make this video, but now they went and made another one. And when it's animated, that's where I draw the line. I'm old enough to remember back in Yale 2016 when everyone was trashing the new reboot at the time, Teen Titans Go. New reboot at the time, 2016. Then it was the Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10 reboot, Rise of TMNT, the list goes on. No one really respects reboots as an inherent property, especially in the manner that they're handled in our modern era. It's almost a safe opinion these days to say, ooh, Hollywood unoriginal, Hollywood bad. But when you take a deeper look at it, you realize it's not just about the unoriginality. These Disney reboots do more than just rip off the original for monetary gain. No. They actively disrespect the source material while they do it. They have to warp the brand to their liking, whether it's for monetary, social, or storytelling purposes, if you really want to give them that credit. This Teen Titans Go syndrome has only gotten worse nowadays, because instead of just telling unfunny stories, modern reboots, especially in the animated realm, aim to purposely disrespect the original vision. Starting off with the fact that the original creators don't want this kind of stuff, almost ever. We've all heard of how Steven Hillenburg never really wanted a reboot of SpongeBob, but ever since his late passing, Nick has capitalized on 2 already, with both thankfully pulling in little to no rating.
Do you have any evidence that these creators are against the creation of these quote-unquote reboots? You show someone saying something about Steven Hillenburg, but you don't prove that he's actually against these reboots, mostly because he passed away, so you can't tell what he wanted. And also, you show absolutely no evidence for anyone else.
When a reboot is properly wanted by the creators, it usually does quite well, and actually delivers true to the vision. But when it doesn't, it's just a floundering attempt to show it was good and unique and cash in on someone else's creation. Let's give it bright, saturated animation to the point where kids get a corneal ulcer. Why not? Kids like colors, right? I feel like everything I'm saying only relates to reboots post-2010, because prior to that, most reiterations weren't like this. Most were better than the originals, and actually kept gritty tones with cool brooding art styles.
Once again, I'm sorry, but does A.S.K know what a reboot is? Sequel series are not reboots. But some of these examples that you're showing are not reboot series, they're examples of sequel series. Batman Beyond and other Ben 10 shows, other than the reboot, take place within the same continuity, so they're sequel series, not reboots. Also, I want to point out that he does call them reiterations, which, I mean, technically could mean they're not a reboot, but this is a video on reboots, at least what he believes to be reboots. So I believe that he is saying that these are supposed to be reboots. I just don't believe A.S.K knows what a reboot actually is, because he's having sequels be reboots. When there's a second movie in a series, you don't refer to that as a reboot.
I mean, no one wants to talk about it, but the current bandwagon is the whole race swapping thing they'll have to do with animated characters. April O'Neil, Timmy Turner, Velma, etc.
Okay, here we go. This is one of the main problems of the video. Timmy Turner has not been race swapped. This is an entirely new character for the new sequel series named Hazel.
When everything is racial, that's the only thing I can see when watching. I never saw Blade as a black character, or Cyborg or Gerald as Static Shock. A lot of my favorite characters are people of various ethnicities and racial tone.
It's interesting that you don't see race when it comes to black characters, but apparently you do see the race of white characters because you get upset if their race is different than being white. Anyway, the rest of their video is literally them just constantly saying that Hazel is the black Timmy Turner. And this is just not true. And I don't want to constantly repeat myself, so we're just not going to cover that. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Cooper out.
Socialism is when the government does stuff. And it's more socialism, the more stuff it does. And if it does a real lot of stuff, it's communism.